Welcome back, Beauty Fam. I'm MikiCarrBeauty, and on my channel I love to talk about luxury skincare, beauty, and sometimes luxury goods. And today we are going to be demoing and doing some swatches and swatch comparisons of this new YSL bronzer. And I got the shade in 04 Warm Sandalwood. If you're interested in seeing me demo this beautiful product and swatches alongside my favorite powder bronzers, then keep watching. Remember to subscribe below. Do you know a lot of you actually are not subscribed to my channel? So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe. Help me out below. Commenting and liking helps out engagement on my channel as well. With that out of the way, Beauty Fam, let's begin and get this beautiful bronzer on my face. This new YSL bronzer comes in 5 shades, and I was vacillating between shades 03 and 04. Out of all 5 shades, it doesn't go very deep. So that is the one thing I am noticing about this shade range. It could be a lot better. So the deepest is dark sienna, and I don't know, I'm going to look up some reviews from deeper skinned beauties if they actually think this is deep enough. For me, I tend to like really deeper bronzes just because I don't like to have to work to make my product or my bronzer work. And I also vacillate between 1 to 2 shades, whether it's winter and summer. So Warm Sandalwood was the one I ended up getting. 04 Warm Sandalwood is the one I ended up getting. I was also looking at 03 Golden Medina, and I think that would have worked fine as well. So I'm really excited to get this on my face. This is not a first impression. So I've actually used this bronzer twice already. And the name is All Hours Hyper Bronze Powder. I ended up getting this at Nordstrom. And look how beautiful this is. And it has a really nice size mirror. I actually am going to do an ASMR moment and really love when components open up completely. It doesn't open up, but it's like more than a 45-degree angle. I just love it when it's completely flat. Then I can, you know, apply my makeup on and use it. But this is really nice. The packaging is beautiful. It reminds me of the eyeshadow quads that came out earlier last year. And the eyeshadows come in a black casing with this squishy leather top. This is bronzer. And actually, when I opened it up, I was just, wow, like this is the packaging that I really think about when we think about luxury beauty. This YSL is gorgeous. I saw this beautiful brown and I just was thinking, wow, that's like beautiful milk chocolate that I just want to eat. Just goes with the fact that this is bronzer, so we're gonna have brown as our cover. I actually am glad they didn't do black because that would be really boring. Unfortunately, and I'll put my review up here and below, I did not get along with the YSL quads. I think they're very beautiful. They just weren't for me. So what this says is a Nordstrom exclusive bronzer that blurs imperfections and minimizes appearance of pores while smoothing skin. It says it's 24-hour wear, a natural sun-kissed glow, powered by skincare actives, non-comedogenic, and fragrance-free. All of the things I love to hear, especially non-comedogenic and fragrance-free. It says this is a skincare infused formula, niacinamide known to minimize pores and smooth textures, Limita from YSL Aurica Gardens, known for non-drying properties, and hyaluronic acid, known for comfort and skin fusing properties. And here's a picture of all 5 shades, and they do look better than photoshopped. I don't think these are photoshopped. They actually do look like they actually swatched the models with different skin tones, but these are not diverse shades in my opinion. Like you on the one side you have like someone with a light skin tone, and the middle one I would say is like a medium, and the next one would be tan. But what happens when you have someone who's caramel with a red undertone or different undertones or a deeper skin beauty? I just think they're missing like at least 3 other hands of skin tones that they can show if this product works. So that is kind of like one thing I would say about that's not promising. It says that there's 5 skin adaptable shades, but I just really don't like when cosmetic companies say it's adaptable when it's clearly not marketed for, or they don't even care to put the models that they think are going to even like that'll show up on people and beauties of a deeper skin tone. This is $65, and as far as I know, I don't think this is a refillable case. So once it's done, which is unfortunate because I would love to able to remove this And what would be great, as we're seeing more of an industry standard, is for companies to come out with refillable components just to buy the refill. And depending on your shade and your season, I sometimes go between two different bronzing shades. So what if you have a beauty who wanted to have two different shades, for example? I vacillated between 3 and 4. I would love to have both of this as an awesome bronzer. And moreover, what if they decide to actually put lighter shades or go deeper, like they should have even started in the beginning? Like they only have one deep shade, which I would say it's like more for a caramel beauty, and it's called Dark Sienna, and it's just a shame that's the deepest shade. So I would like to see them expand their shade range. And I know I'm kind of doing a little mini review already before, but this is not a first impression for me. So it's just like thoughts I've been having all week as I've been trying this bronzer. And I've actually worn this bronzer on Instagram. So if you're not on Instagram following me at MikiCarrBeauty, why don't you go ahead? I'll put my handle here. Let's just get this on my face. But before I do, I want to just give you a little bit of a swatch, and then we'll go ahead. And I wore the wrong blouse for this video, but here is what that one swipe looks like. So again, I know that I could have gone with 03, and it definitely runs more warmer red than I probably need. And what I do is I just usually just go in with a lighter hand. So that's what I'm going to do today. This is made in France, and there's a 24-month shelf life. The only thing I have on is my foundation base, which is the Sisley, the new matte foundation, which I'll link up above and below because I did a review of that, and the CHANTECAILLE anti-aging face tint. On top of that, I have Sisley powder, and that's it on my face. I don't have any blush, I don't have any other bronzer or highlighter. So that is this one swipe. So you can see how pigmented it gets really quickly. So what I'm going to do is just kind of actually, I don't want it, I can see already, I already know this is a pretty pigmented bronzer, so I actually tapped off some before I'll put it on. And you can see it's pretty sheer, but I did tap some off. No bronzer. Okay, so I'm going to go in with a little bit more, just tapping gently. And again, you can see it's super pigmented. And it does run warm, but I like my bronze like this. Some people like it more neutral leaning, but I am warm leaning already. So sometimes when there's like neutral bronzers, it just looks a little weird on me because it'll just end up looking kind of gray and muddy. So just pulling some down here. And I'm not worrying about tapping any off because I'm using it as a bronzer contour. So no product, and then there's some bronzer. Okay, going in with a little bit more, tapping some off, and I'm just wanting to build this for you. And I just want you to know that I'm putting a really light application of this. I'm specifically using squirrel hair brush because it's the impact on this squirrel hairs it's very light because I'm just building up. Okay, so it's this really beautiful glow. I think it's a really beautiful formulation. Okay, so we're going to go in on the other side and finish up. Okay, and now I'm going to stop. I don't want it to be any more orange, but I just wanted to show you that I actually put a pretty light application on with a very light applying brush. So if you're a person who wants a faster impact right away, then for sure use a goat hair brush. This is just squirrel hair, because I just love to build up my bronzer because I don't want it to be so obvious I'm bronzing, if that makes sense. I want it to look very diffused and just like sun-kissed, beautiful, natural. I think this is a beautiful bronzer. I was surprised. I didn't have any expectations of this other than I knew how I felt about my last experience with YSL with the quads. I was really excited and super disappointed. So I kind of braced myself of like, okay, we're just going to try it. We're going to try it. And like, if it ends up being awesome, great. If it's not awesome, then that's just kind of the breaks with makeup. I would say for sure that it's blurring. I have most texture around here, and it's definitely not emphasizing any of my texture. I don't think this is a flat matte. I think there's still a luminosity to this. And you can kind of see where it is a little luminous. Let me just take a little bit more of a swatch and see if we can build it up. Yeah, I just think it runs warm and there might be a slight luminosity. It's not a flat matte. When I think of super flat matte bronzers, I think of the Victoria Beckham bronzers. So if you want something that looks more on the matte side, but not like a flat matte like Victoria Beckham, I would suggest trying this out. So if you're my skin tone, I think you could get away with 3. But again, I just like my bronzers to be a little bit warmer and not having to fuss too much. Okay, so we're gonna pivot to some swatches. What I did is I have a lot of bronzer, but what I'm gonna do is at least put the matte bronzers closer as a swatch, closer to the swatch I did here. I have 8 bronzers here and I hope they can fit. I am going to take the Victoria Beckham bronzing brick, the matte bronzing brick in 03. It has a warm side and a contour side. And this is kind of my favorite, pretty much my favorite bronzer in my entire collection. Because it's more of a true matte, definitely less warm. Okay, so this is the bronzing shade and this is the contour shade. It's pretty close actually. And then I also have 4 because there was a point where I got really tan and these were on sale. So I also picked up number 4, the bronzing brick. This is the contour shade. This is the bronze shade. So let me pick up the bronzing shade. This is the contour shade. Bronzing, contour shade. Ooh, it really looks close to 4. So if you use 4 in Victoria Beckham, I would say it's pretty good. Actually, this is a little bit warmer. The 4 in the bronzing brick for Victoria runs warmer than the 4 in YSL. Actually, now that I look at it, it's like almost in between. It runs definitely more red, but maybe it's in between. The next one I have is the DIOR bronzer. Beautiful packaging. This is the limited edition packaging, and it's the DIOR Forever 007 Golden Bronze. So I'm just going to take that. Again, this runs really warm. Again, I've got a shade that's probably deeper than I need, but it is what it is. This is 07. And you can see it's running a little bit more neutral up here. Hermes. Next up, I have the Hermes bronzer. I have this in shade 04 CN. I did a review of this last year, Atlas and CN, and I ended up selling 03 because I ended up using 04 much more frequently. So there's technically 3 shades in here, but I never pull from the little specks here of the different parts. I always swirl it because it's ridiculous. There's no way, unless you have a contour brush, is this gonna work. So I'm just gonna swirl my entire finger and this entire bronzer. That is 04 CN. You can see that's really red. That's very bold. If you have 04 in Hermes, just know that 04 in YSL is lighter. I love this bronzer. I think it kind of has a similar feel. This formula for YSL reminds me a lot of this Hermes formula in that it's kind of mattifying and blurring at the same time, pore blurring. The downside of this is that it has that Hermes perfume. So if you don't like perfume in your bronzer, it does dissipate. It's that Hermes smell, but it's there. So if you don't like that, then try the YSL. I don't smell anything in the YSL bronzer. The next up I have is the Chanel Le Beige Sun Oversized Healthy Glow Sun Kiss Powder Sun Bath Deep. Super long name. I love this bronzer as well. Unfortunately, they don't make this anymore. And there's a little bit of a shimmer in it. I think this runs, what I remember, a little bit more neutral. And there's actually a little bit of an iridescence on that. And the last 3, I think there might be some shimmer in these last 3. So this is Chantecaille Serena. And this is my oldest bronzer in my collection. I just love it because it's that gel formula. And it's really forgiving on the face. You can see it's very light. I love using this when I want to use all over my face. Something very subtle. and it's that gel formula, so it doesn't, I don't know, there's something special about that formula. This used to be my holy grail bronzer. This is the Tom Ford Gold Dust, and I heard that they were going to discontinue this, so I went ahead and got a big one, and I still love this. This is definitely lighter, but a little bit more shimmery. So these last three are more shimmery and not mattes. And the last one is my OG. I love this. This is the Sisley bronzer. They only have one shade of this. Again, it's that Baked Gelée formula. Very similar in Baked Gelée to the Chantecaille. You can see how it's just like baked into that pan. I'll never get rid of these. I love Baked Gelée formulas. Okay, so I'm going to take the Sisley bronzer. And I consider this more of like an all-over bronzing illuminator. And it's definitely not matte. So I'm running out of room. So I'm going to just swatch the Sisley bronzer here. So here we go. Here we are. Sisley YSL 4, Victoria Beckham Bronzing Brick 03, Victoria Bronzing and Contour Brick 04, Christian Dior 7, Hermes Cien, Chanel Oversized Bronzer and Sun Bath Deep, Chantecaille Serena, and Tom Ford Gold Dust. So those are all my bronzers, and do they all look the same? They do, but there's a variation. I think if I were to look at this in the naked eye, I think the formula is closest to the bronzing brick of Victoria Beckham. And you can see it looks more red in the pan for YSL, where this is more neutral looking. So if you have 04 in Victoria Beckham and you're looking for a good shade match, I would say 4 in YSL is a good one. And I don't have 5 obviously in YSL, but I would wonder if 5 in YSL is close to 4 in the matte bronzing and contour brick from Victoria Beckham. So. Okay, so that's it, beauty fam. I hope that was helpful. All of the makeup I used below and mention the products I will put down in my shop, my links. That's it, beauty fam. Thanks for joining me today on my review of the YSL bronzer in 04. Remember to subscribe below. Click that button below. And a lot of you aren't subscribed, so what are you waiting for? Comment and like below helps me out on my channel. And as always, please be very kind with yourself and others, and just be you. Until the next video, beauty fam, take good care. Bye.